The job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery. Opening words by Francis Bacon. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Brighton Unitarian Church. If you're here for the first time this morning, we offer you a really warm welcome. We have been here for over 200 years, and you enter this church which offers a place for a free faith, a place for you to discover, discern, and to travel your own spiritual path within community. So we welcome you all, and we welcome those who are joining us online this morning. So we light our chalice. We ignite this flame, a symbol of our faith, to beckon us into community, warm our hearts with love, and give us a light to follow as we carry our faith into action. So let us be still together, come together in prayer. I use the word God, but I invite you to choose whatever resonates with you. That may be the mystery, maybe nature, it may be, I have no idea as yet. So let us come together in prayer. God of spirit and all abiding love, we give thanks for coming into this place this morning. A sacred and welcoming space, away from the hustles and bustles of our day, a space to empty our minds and to open our hearts, to give thanks for all that we have and all that we are, but also to send our prayers to those who are in a less fortunate position than ourselves. For those who find themselves without a space of safety, who cannot practice their own spiritual beliefs or faith without fear of recrimination. We have been reminded this week of the beauty of the contributions of Sir David Attenborough, and we give our grateful thanks to him and to the planet that is full of beauty. For those who have been disabled by this week's political events and elections, we are reminded how important it is for us to come into community, to receive and give love to those that we meet, even when they believe something so very different. We give thanks. Amen and blessed be. We sing our first hymn this morning, number 14, For the Beauty. It's in the Green Book. You're invited to stand or sit and sing as you feel comfortable. So today we celebrate the art and the artist. And in this service, we will hear from 3 in the congregation who will share their reflections on how they have been spiritually or emotionally touched by art. This is our nod and our thanks to the Brighton Festival, running now for over 60 years. A festival that started so small, just wanted to enable people to take a new look at the arts. I'm wondering whether there's anybody here that's still, or in the city itself, who was here when the first one happened, and what would they think of it now? It's like it takes over the whole city, doesn't it, for the whole month? I mean, our city is pretty vibrant at the best of times, but it's certainly been turned up a notch. And practically on every street corner, something weird and wonderful, bizarre and entertaining has been happening. From the Brighton Morris to a lone fiddler, to huge installations on the seafront and in parks, to pavement artists. It's all going on. I wish that they set up little time-lapse cameras to see the diversity of the acts. And we have them also in this space as well. And there's information about that after the service. Some of us may have a string of tickets to go to shows, both in the main and the fringe, while others attend the free events or go to the open houses. Maybe to see the art and maybe to see what people have done in their gardens. Maybe even buy art, but to just appreciate and encounter. Whichever way you choose, it's very hard to avoid the festival. So, what is all of this art? Creating spaces for us to look at or join in creative work and to reflect on it. Some pieces stay with us or move us in ways that go beyond our understanding. They touch our spiritual soul. I think they are a portal to other layers of reality. André Gide says art is a collaboration between God and the artist, and the less the artist does, the better. I think if you're an artist, you may take pain with that. But what has been our own journey with art? Maybe we remember sitting on those uncomfortable benches in galleries, staring at large works, perhaps being told that they had some form of mesmerizing connection, yet we couldn't see it. And yet, turning around, we connect with the very small piece of art, maybe in the corner of the gallery, the one that's eclipsed by the grandeur of the famous painting. It may seem insignificant, and yet it propels us into a state of awe and wonder. The mystical state experienced by staring into a painting or reading poetry or reading or going to theatre or listening to somebody playing on a street corner, whatever it is, it takes us into another space, a deeper space, and sometimes a spiritual space. And of course, that's always been the way. Throughout history, people have used art, music, and literature to express their religious beliefs and to help them focus on practices such as prayer and worship. There's such a wide variety that we can tap into. If we're fortunate enough to be able to travel, We may have seen Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel ceiling. These great works spoke to the divine. Or the Baroque artists conveying an intense spiritual experience. And then the modern artists using new and innovative ways. Anish Kapoor, Shirin Nashat, there are hundreds of them. They all try to convey the ineffable, the transcendent and the divine. But what stirs us? What piece of art or performance transcends almost words and explanations and have had such a huge impact in our life? The longer I stay in Unitarianism, the longer I realise that we are so diverse. So I know that everybody in this room and listening online will have a different experience. And that's the joy. So we come to our first contribution. And before Stuart speaks, I will give a little bit of background. Hopefully on your chair, or maybe you might need to share, there's 2 pictures, and we're looking at the first one, the one on the left. So my summary now is chapter 18 in John, which gives the background to this painting. Jesus and his disciples entered a garden, a place he often used and which Judas knew. Judas guided the soldiers and officials to this place to arrest Jesus. I just need to say, for those of you that do know the Bible well, I have preceded this into a story. He was questioned about his disciples and his teachings. One of his disciples, Peter, denied he was one on 3 occasions. Jesus explained that he had always taught in temples and synagogues or in open places, never in secret. He said, "I've spoken openly to the world and in truth." He was taken before Pilate, who questioned what charges had been brought against him. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked. "Or did others talk to you about me?" Pilate wanted to know what he'd done and why he had been brought before him. He says, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place." "You are the king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You say that I'm a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." "What is truth?" retorted Pilate. He went out to those gathered and said, "I find no basis for the charge against this man. But it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of Passover. Do you want me to release the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "No, not him. Give us Barabbas." And so Jesus was arrested, tried and crucified. Maybe not because of what he had or hadn't done, but because the people requested it. So Stuart, where are you? He hasn't run out, that's good. So Stuart is going to, I hope that gives you some background. Stuart's going to talk about this painting and what it means to him.
Hi. The painting is the one on the left. It might look quite small, but in reality, it's about 2 meters high and 1.5 meters wide. So it's kind of realistic. This is a painting by the Russian Nikolai Nikolaevich Guy, painted in 1890. It depicts Pontius Pilate questioning Jesus after his arrest. It is painted in a realist style and was banned from exhibition during its time for blasphemy, precisely because it depicts Jesus in a realistic style. Greek Orthodox Christianity at the time had strict conventions of how to depict Jesus from the iconic tradition. If you've seen those icons in Greek churches, that's the way that Jesus was always represented. We're talking here of a time before Rasputin and before Tsar Nicholas I. The inspiration, as has been mentioned, is taken from the arrest of Jesus Christ and the subsequent questioning of Pontius Pilate. And the painting is entitled, "Truth, What Is That?" At the time I came across this painting, I was in my early 30s and studying for a degree in mathematics, because it was a skill that would benefit me in the job I was doing and give me great opportunities. However, I found that this produced some intriguing overlaps with philosophy, which had been stimulated from my time at university when I did my first degree. I understood through mathematics that it had been proven that any system that's complicated enough, there will be truths that cannot be proven. This was shown by the German logician Kurt Gödel in the 1930s. At that time, I was of the opinion that man was the measure of all things, claimed by the ancient Greek philosopher Protagoras, that everything in the universe was made up from matter, and this could be proven, and that humans have the capacity to determine truth and meaning based on their own perceptions and experiences. However, my studies questioned this, and I was revising my belief in Protagoras. If a complicated system could contain truths that couldn't be explained, then I suppose, as the universe is vastly more complicated, surely this must be the case also. So whilst Pilate can wave away the question of what is truth in a relativistic way, there is nevertheless something we don't understand and are probably incapable of grasping, that of spiritual truth. The painting seems to me to sum this all up. Pilate is in the foreground, lit by the sun, imposing, certain, well-defined, carrying worldly authority shown by the noble toga. Jesus is in the shadows, and in comparison to Pilate, indistinct and shabbily dressed, carrying nothing except the truth of spiritual wisdom. It's a painting that just happened to come along to me at the right time and spoke to me that maybe I was wrong about things. If you want to see it, it's in St. Petersburg. So it's a bit of a long way.
Thank you, Stuart. I didn't actually realise the painting was that big, and I'm so sorry it's very small. I think for those of you that may be new to Unitarianism, in some ways what Stuart has been talking about and described is a sense of what our faith is about, that we tussle and we talk about philosophy and reason and science and in one hand, and then on the other hand, we have the sense of the mystery. Let's sing again our second hymn, 165. No, Sorry, I changed them round. Number 3. We're going to sing number 3 in the Green Book. We come now to a time of reflection. It's something that we do within the Unitarian tradition. We just take that space to be with your God, or to just be in quiet, to be in confusion. In this period of quiet, and this is an invitation, you may wish to bring to mind a piece of art in whatever form that is, and one that has maybe moved you spiritually or emotionally. The time may be for you to give thanks to that. If that's not something that resonates with you, then I invite you to use this time to restore your inner self. Let us be still together. Divine Spirit, God of all love, who by their gifts make the world a joyful and beautiful realm. Through the artist's labours, they teach us more clearly the beauty that is to be had in us and around us in their inspiration. They call forth awe and wonder in our own living. May we give thanks for their hope and their vision. Amen. In the music that follows that Stuart's going to play, I invite you, this is invitation only. Most of you that know me, I have these strange things that I do every now and again, and you go, invitation only. You should have a little plain card, either in the chair in front of you, there's a little thing. There should be a pencil and a little coloured piece of card. And in the music that follows, I invite you to write the name of a piece of artwork, and that's as wide as you want it to be. It may be something like Stuart was talking about. Could be something that you've just seen, something that moved you as a child. Could be song, poetry, hip hop, whatever you like. So I invite you to write the name of the artwork if you know it, or the artist if you know it. If you don't, then maybe write something that we might be able to find it. If writing is something that you find more difficult, then I invite you to turn to somebody that next to you and ask them to write it on your behalf. As the music plays, once you've written it, I invite you to drop it into the bowl. And then at the end of the service, over coffee, I invite you to come and pick one. This may give you a glimpse into somebody else's love of art. It might even offer you a new pathway of exploration. So as Stuart plays, I invite you to do so. Is there anyone that doesn't have a pencil and paper or access to? Okay. Thanks, Stuart. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, everybody. I was like a little child. I was like, I want to see what everybody's written. We did this last year. Some of you may have remembered that we did this last year, and I picked out Eminem, and I was like, oh, okay. And I did quite get into Eminem over last year, so I'm really interested to see what the divine is going to give me this year. We give thanks for all the artists, known and unknown, established, just beginning, maybe at the end of their lives, from the canvas to the trombone, the digital image to the sculpture, and to God's greatest canvas, the earth. We come to our second contribution, and Natalie has chosen one of the paintings by Monet, and that is also on your picture. I didn't realise that Claude Monet had painted over 250 oil paintings just in relationship to the water lilies. And maybe some of us know it's a bit like the painting that Stuart was talking about. Some of them are just massive. They're huge. I don't actually know what the real size of this one is. But he says this: everyone discusses my art and pretends to understand, as if it were necessary to understand, when it is simply necessary to love. So, Natalie, over to you.
I chose one of Monet's water lily oil paintings to talk about for a couple of reasons. I was designing some healing cards titled One with the Universe, and I was looking for a flower to draw that represents enlightenment and rebirth, and I found the water lily. The next day, after quiet reflection here at the church, Jennifer asked if I would like to talk about a piece of art that has moved me. When I studied art history at art college, I remembered studying Monet and being moved by his work, particularly the water lilies collection. I took it as a sign from the universe that I should talk about Monet's water lilies. Another sign was that my husband had recently bought me a beautiful book on Monet and his work for my birthday. So I studied the pictures again, and I was particularly drawn to this one. I was moved by the melancholy expression, yet also seeing light and hope within the painting. When I decided to research the symbolic meaning of the water lily, I felt that its meaning is very apt for our time. The water lily is depicted coming out of the murky water and blossoming into beautiful light. The world seems to be in chaos at the moment, with war and other awful things going on. Yet in many other parts of the world, there seems to be a new earth arising, with awakening, peace, generosity, love, and creativity coming to the fore. I think all of us have had our struggles, but aren't we lucky to be able to appreciate or create a work of art that moves us and brings us into another world? Art reaches us and can stir and heal our emotions and has the ability to bring us peace or help us to feel less alone if we are going through turmoil. Monet's inspiration for creating the water lilies paintings could be interpreted as spiritually motivated. He was heavily influenced by Eastern philosophy and Japanese aesthetics, and he created a peaceful sanctuary filled with water lilies around his home, from which he painted these beautiful paintings. He called them a monument to peace for the French nation during the chaos of World War I. I particularly like this water lilies painting, as the two water lilies are the main focus, with light emanating from them. The surrounding water is dark and murky, yet like the melancholy mood this creates, invoking a mixture of emotions from the observer. The water lilies themselves bring hope through the light they present. So Monet takes us on a journey from darkness to light, from loss to hope, through this beautiful painting. I feel we all need to create our own meditative sanctuaries within this chaotic world at the moment. For me, this is through quiet reflection here on a Wednesday at the Unitarian Church, and also creating art. During the last couple of years here at Quiet Reflection, I have been enjoying my journey towards spiritual enlightenment, but I haven't got there yet. And it has been a really lovely experience meeting such lovely people too. I feel so lucky to be here in Brighton, where we are free to express our creativity and spirituality. And thank you to our Reverend Jennifer for making the Unitarian Church here so welcoming. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie, so much. They are paintings that we maybe know so well in a picture book or on a poster, and yet it's so beautiful to hear someone's real heartfelt feelings about it. We come to our offertory this morning. So in the music that follows, we'll pass the basket. If you have anything spare to offer, we gratefully receive it. It's to help the church run from basic things like paying the bills of the water and the gas, to also then doing our outreach work and running our services. So if you have, that's great. We have a new machine. I know, it's supposed to be very quick. It takes your money very quickly from your card. So use that if you wish to do it by card, not by cash. As I always say, the reality is I'm so glad that all of you are here today. So your contribution of being here is worth more than your money. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your offerings. We come to our third contribution. Our other contributions have talked about paintings that have been around for a while. And I know when I go around Brighton, there's more and more galleries that seem to be popping up with all sorts of modern wonders. And it's lovely to go and see these pieces of work. But sometimes they may feel completely out of our reach, especially when you look at the price tag. And that might be the same for some other pieces of work and performance in Brighton. So there are other people that perform, and they perform for the joy and love of it, and we're invited to put a few pennies or pounds or notes, actually, in the hat. And our next contributor is somebody who's been doing that for many, many years in Brighton. So Michael is coming to talk about performing. I think Michael's a little bit tired because he was performing last night. Do you need this? Should I take it away? I want to lean on it.
Yeah, I'll sit on it. Hello, everyone. I'm a little bit emotional, so I'll try and keep it together. Wow. As a young, sensitive, sickly child, I can remember at the age of 5 having an animal encyclopedia, and I learned how to draw all the animals in the encyclopedia, and started a repertoire of ability to draw at a very young age, and started painting, and I lived in a little world, and it was my way of existing in the world. It was my way of coping with a very confusing set of, well, the world, you know, and however that may be introduced to you. And then a few changes happened in my life, and I turned to music at the age of 16. Got a guitar when I was 16, my 16th birthday, and then I left home. And it was the same thing. I just had to create a world, somewhere to be, somewhere to exist, somewhere to be held, somewhere to be safe. Something to offer different. To not be a victim, but to be able to actually offer something. And thank goodness I had just enough practical bones in my body to eat, feed myself and carry on. And at the age of 29, I came to Brighton with a guitar. And I went to the streets and I sang my heart out every day. First of all, George Street in Hove. I still feel like a bit of a spiritual home. It's a lovely acoustic. And I sang and I sang and I sang and I sang and I sang, and I slowly met friends and people, and started a community. And my goodness me, I had no idea how many people I've met and spoken to until this last month, really. And what I would say is, when those words of Monet actually really touched me, that singing, when I try to think of a song to sing, I try to think of something that will express the emotion inside. And it will be digging for an emotion inside that is as relevant or as deep or as touching or as profound or as something inside, as far-reaching as possible, as I can possibly find. And then I'd scan my brain for the songs I knew, and I'd think of one that I could play that might express that feeling. And I would do it again and again. And, after stumbling onto the streets with terrible anxiety and misery, within 3 or 4 songs, I had my purpose. And 26 years later, I still love it. I still go to the street. I don't care if I make £5 or nothing sometimes, or £50. It makes no difference. The thing is that people smile. Music, creativity, and love. And gradually with time, I realized that song was prayer for me. That really what I was trying to do was reach to something and be guided by something mysterious, guided by some point of perfection that I'd never actually experienced or seen and doesn't exist. Perfection, something, memory of perfection inside, and a desperate need to try and find that perfection. And I'm not a perfectionist, I'm a scruffy bugger. Excuse that, I don't think it's supposed to. Sorry, that's 80s language, sorry. Yes, a reaching for perfection and expressing, trying to bring that into the world, and it became clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer until very in recent times, I found myself even singing the gospel songs in a direct attempt for devotional reaching. And within the framework of art, one of the things I would say, I use the word there, framing. I always come back to Van Gogh. Van Gogh was not respected as an artist when he was doing his work, and now people frame his work in such a way that it's worth millions of pounds. Framing is not art, and I feel passionate about that, and that's why I love busking, because I love the fact that I'm invisible to so many people, and that so many people have no idea what I'm doing, but if anybody's got their eyes open, they will. This lady here has come and sat and watched me recently, and with her eyes open and actually see the love that's being given, or the attempt at art with no frame, just a guy on the street busking. And I love that. I really, really love that freedom. And so thank you to all of you, and thank you for this place for affirming a lot of these feelings and thoughts.
A little water coming out of my eyes. Not sure I can follow that. I could just say amen. There we go, finished. Thank you, Michael. And I think the greatest gift is that art can travel. It travels within us, travels around us. I know Michael is on his travels and will take his beauty of song and faith somewhere else, but I think that we all have that. And I think when we talk about art, sometimes that can take us back to maybe a childhood experience of someone said, that's not right, you'll never be an artist, or, it's a bit of a loaded word. And yet, when we can step out of that judgment and look for the art in the everyday, I really think then that we can be moved spiritually. And I was going to talk to you all about a recent thing that I went to see at the Tate Modern, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to talk to you very briefly, about a little girl where I live, there's a sort of triangle of grass and trees, and the kids come and play there, and it's a safe place for them to play. And she appeared, it was Friday, I think, and she had a box, and in the box were these real chubby chalks. They were like as thick as your thumb. And I saw her like looking at them, taking them out, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" She was like, "I want to make something. I want to draw something." I was like, "Well, go for it." And she's like, "Yeah, but when I get told off if I do it on the pavement," I went, "No, it's chalk, it's fine. You can do it outside of my house, it's fine." And she drew like a hopscotch thing, a 1 to 8 thing. But within each square, she drew a little flower, and there was a flower, and there was a dog, and there was something else, and a daisy. And I was like, "Well, this is amazing. This is just not any old hopscotch." I went in and went on my way, and then I came out, and then she'd finished it, and she was like, "Would you like to play?" And I was like, "Yes, please." So we found a stone, and we were playing the hopscotch. And, and we had a little chat, and I said, "Well, if it doesn't rain, it's going to stay as long as it stays, and it's a beautiful piece of work. It's a piece of art." And she said, "Really?" And I went, "Yeah, it's a piece of art." I said, "Maybe you could get people to come and have a look at it." 20 minutes later, there were several small people playing outside. And I tell you that story because that piece of art was completely free. Somebody was making that piece of art completely free. No, like, "Oh, is it good enough? Or should I? Someone's going to see it." Just the spontaneity of making something that we could play with. And that, I feel, that touched me more in terms of being alive, being connected, being free. So in this month of craziness and abundance in Brighton, I invite you all to try to maybe see another piece of art in a different way. It doesn't have to have a price tag of 3 million, because the price tag of that connection with beautiful, beautiful lilies, a painting that took Stuart to a place of questioning truth, the people who've met Michael, that's the real movement of art. I leave you with these words from Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way. When we move to our own creativity, we move towards our Creator. When we seek to become more spiritual, we find ourselves becoming more creative. Our creativity and our spirituality are so closely interconnected. They are, in fact, one of the same thing. Speaking of God, we may use the words maker or creator without recognizing that those terms are for the artist. God is the great artist. We are creations, and we are intended in turn to be creative ourselves. Let us come to our final prayer together. O great Creator, we are gathered together in your name, that we may be of greater service to you and to our fellows. We offer ourselves to you as instruments. We open ourselves to your creativity in our lives. We surrender to you our old idea, and we welcome new ideas. We trust you will lead us. We trust that it is safe to follow the God of our own understanding. Help to unfold our lives. Help us to believe it is not too late. Help to nurture each other's unfolding, to encourage each other's growth. Help us to create as an act of worship to you. Amen and blessed be. We sing our final hymn, number 165 in the Purple Book. May the blessings of life be upon us. May we leave this sacred space in gratitude for the wealth of art and creativity in our own lives and in our city. May we open our hearts and our minds, our ears and our eyes to the wealth and abundance. And maybe we walk in the light of art. Amen. Before Caroline takes the notices, and just a reminder to you to take a piece of art from the paper. We'll have tea and coffee in a few moments. Caroline's going to do the notices. We've got a special farewell for somebody after that. If you need to leave, then please go with our blessing.
Thank you, Jennifer, for leading our service today. Thank you, Stuart, for doing the music. Thank you, Stuart, for doing the setting up. Thank you, Simon, for doing the teas. Thank you, Stuart. So I'm having a bit of fun here. Thank you, Stuart, Natalie, and Michael, for your contributions. This Wednesday, do we have music and silence? On Wednesday? Yes. So I'm just asking because there's so much else going on in the church at the moment. This Wednesday, our doors are open for all to come for quiet reflection, starting at 12:15 with some music, and then at 1, quiet reflection led by Jennifer. There will be online Heart and Soul. That's always happens on the 2nd and the 4th Wednesday evening. So that's happening this Wednesday evening. If you join regularly, you should have received an email. If you'd like to know more, if you're thinking, what on earth are they talking about, then I think probably could speak to you, Fanny, or Jennifer. But today, Fanny is, I don't actually know the word. Are you a steward today anyway? You're a wearer of the T-shirt, which means that if there's anything you'd like to know or ask about the church on this day, then, of course, you can talk to Jennifer, but also Fanny is our sort of designated person for today. 2. Great. Oh, yes, true. Okay, can't have too many. No Friday lunchtime concert this Friday, but there will be again the following Friday. And on the 2nd Sunday of the month at 5, we have Contemplative Circle, so that will be happening next Sunday at 5 o'clock here in the church. And anybody who gets the newsletter, and if you don't, please do also ask Miley or Fanny about that. But Jen's actually written a little piece about that in the newsletter, so do have a look at that. But just to borrow a little bit from that, slightly edited, so being in a contemplative group offers a sanctuary of intentional stillness. It's a space where we can set aside the doing of daily life and simply be in the presence of the sacred. So the group listens attentively to some text that's chosen by somebody in the group, and then there's silence and sort of connection. Right, always teas and coffees. In a moment, there will be teas and coffees coming in, and there are volunteers who do that. There are established volunteers who have been doing that for a while and know exactly what to do, and there's new people coming in as well. On the 24th, if there's anybody who's sort of fairly familiar already with doing teas and coffees that could step in to help, that would be really lovely. I think the sheet is on the table, isn't it, there? And finally, also related to teas and coffees, obviously it generates tea towels. If there's anybody ever who thinks they can help out with tea towels, bringing them home, bringing them back the next time, that'd be great, appreciated as well. We do have Molly who does that, but actually could do with a little bit more help for that as well. And that is it. So next week our service will be led by our friend Zephyr, and onwards.
For those of you that are new here today, this is not normal. This is not normal. But we have a farewell to do. So as I say, if you need to leave, I know we're past 12. Please go with our blessings. So I didn't write anything. Oh dear. No. Is it desperate? Yes. Go on then. She's really annoying because it's about him. So now we're going to have to wait while he goes for a wee. Chat amongst yourselves, why don't you? Do, do, do. Oh, that's okay. Because it's like, otherwise it's big, you have to put it on. Whilst we're waiting for Michael, you should have a tiny little piece of paper that's got words on it, because we're going to sing to him. So you should find a little piece of paper. Oh yeah, no, bring it. It's fine. Oh, you're back. Brilliant. When duty calls. I won't ask you how many pints you consumed last night. So, let's bring some order, if we can. Michael, I've known Michael for a while, and because of his playing, and in fact, there was a time when Michael and a friend of his was playing on my on my front garden a few years ago in Lewis. But much to my delight, he started coming here, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And he quickly became just part of this congregation. And the reason I'm talking about him now is because he's moving to Lancaster. And as you heard in his little ditty earlier, that he's been here for a really long time. And so saying farewell to that number of people is difficult. You're doing it again and again and again and again. And now you find yourself here doing it again. You can't escape. I guess what I want to say is, in the time that you've been here, you've brought a beauty, as we all do. We all bring our beauty and our love and our hearts and our confusion and our muddledness and our annoyance and everything. And all of that you brought with an open heart and a joy and a delight. And I also think that you brought, to some people who find the Bible a bit of a tricky place to be, and the love of a spiritual teacher difficult, you brought your wonder. And there were many a time we sat and you opened and went, this is amazing. And I, for one, am incredibly grateful for that. And I speak on behalf of the congregation that you brought such excitement, exuberance, almost childlike awe about faith. And I think as Unitarians, we can become a little bit heady and intellectual. And you brought a wash of joy, and you brought your contributions in terms of singing and playing, and also recently your very first service here. And I do feel sad that you're going. And I also feel immense joy that what you brought here, you will take forward to Lancaster. and you will share that love and spirit and open-heartedness. So in a very tiny, small way, there's something that we want to give you. It's actually an envelope of cash. We had a collection, and for me it was like, what do we buy you? You know, I could buy you a spiritual book, but I know you're setting up Michael's setting up a new home in Lancaster, so for me it's, you know, that's a gift of being able to buy what it is that you need. There's a card that's been signed by pretty much everyone here. But there was something else. Tony took a few pictures of you at your first service, so we've included those so they can go with you. You can remember us by that. But I'm not sure if you ever met Jeannie. Did you meet Jeannie? Have you met Jeannie? Our 100-year-old who was 100. We're 100 on Thursday. And is far too busy to come and celebrate with us because she has far too many friends. So we're going to do it in a month's time. And when she cleared out her house only a few weeks ago, and she was a potter, she was very prolific, but she also made these. And when I was looking around, she said, you know, have what you want, make a contribution. So in this little bag, please be careful with it, it's a very baby chalice. And that, I think, comes with our blessings of love, of faith, and to light your way in your new adventures. So may God bless you, may God keep you, and may your light shine to all that you meet. Come here. There's a card from us. That's the most important. That's got a lot in it, so be careful. Whoops. Be careful with it, she says. There's more than £1 in it.
Oh.
I don't know if you don't need to say anything.
I could sing a song.
Well, we're going to sing you a song, actually.
Oh.
Yes. Our turn. We're going to sing you a song. Bless you, sweetheart. Stuart.
Okay. It's quite well known, so we didn't make it up except for words. And the tune is 6 notes. Get those in your heart.
In a proper chair.
But it carries the energy. So, this afternoon, I managed to find a few words that might fit the rhythm of it. What I suggest we do is I'll play the piano, I'll go round, and then we'll sing one line, and I'll play another piano bit until the piano bit and dance, right? Then we'll sing it like a bicycle kind of dance as well. So, and then at the end, the bit that goes goodbye, farewell, goes like this. This is a little bit of morning. It goes goodbye, farewell. So it goes goodbye, farewell. So you're ready for that. So what I suggest we do
Stuart, let's just do it.
My favourite musical.